The He podcast is powered by Higgy Nutrition. Healthy gut, happy you. Who is he? He is me. Hi, I'm Rafi Redzwan. This is he. Here is my chance to share some amazing stories with some amazing people that are inspiring to me. He celebrates everyday people of everyday life. He revolves around conversations that inspire others to change the world and make a difference in life, with a little bit of laughter and a whole lot of drama. Join me for personal stories and experiences on health and healing, successes and failures, recovery and discovery, anything relatable, and anything in between. He elevates us to rise again and live our very best life. Just so you know, you are not alone. He is with you. We all know that vegetables and greens are good for you and are essential for good health and proper nutrition. However, given our current lifestyles and hectic pace of life, it sometimes is difficult to get all your nutrition on a daily basis. That's where my Daily Greens comes in. My Daily Greens is a premixed prebiotic drink that contains chlorophyll, spirulina, pomegranate, ashwagandha, and pagaga, all in a convenient sachet. If you want to be the boss of your health, just mix one sachet of My Daily Greens with water for better gut health, better energy, and immunity support. I have been taking My Daily Greens for some time now and have noticed improvements in my gut health and my overall well-being. Plus, it tastes good. As a special offer to listeners of the He podcast, you can get 10% of your order by using the code HE10 at checkout. Just head on to higgynutrition.com, that's HGHYnutrition.com, or visit the link in the description below. I'm so excited. Okay, three.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
calming down. You're hyping it
okay.
up. Calm down.
Yes. Okay, three, two, one. Skye Malarvili savors every moment in time to make a difference. In this episode, he unpacks her journey of becoming a change maker and the motivation to influence others and persuade someone toward what matters. Her ultimate focus is on children and animals. She gives a glimpse of FoReka, a social enterprise she co-founded that empowers underprivileged communities to participate in entrepreneurial activities to achieve self-sustainability. The journey wasn't easy to begin with. She touches on issues surrounding the orphanage system in Malaysia and why it's imperative to pay attention to regulating the monitoring system to ensure its safety and reliability. The nuance of this moment in time is to find the balance between reflection in life and being present, uplifting the need to care for the welfare of orphans and animals, which provides her with a whole new spectrum of life. This is her story. Hi, Sky.
Hello, Rafi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you this morning?
Good. I'm very well. I had a busy week, and then I was so looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, my week's been
Uh,
pretty hectic too. There were lots of ups and downs, but yeah,
yes,
weekend is a weekend,
yes.
right?
Thank you for saying yes to this. And I've been, I think we've been talking since a long time ago, and then I finally have you over today to talk about a moment in time.
Yes, and I think the title kind of resonates because, since we've been talking for quite some time, you can see that the
Mm.
priorities in my life took a big shift, over
Yeah.
the course of,
Yes.
you knowing the things that I do on social media. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that you're very active. You voice out a lot of issues online as well. I think that it's an inspiring thing to do. But also, I think this conversation with you is about how your journey in becoming the person you are today, behind the
Mm.
motivation to influence others and persuade someone towards something, to make a difference in life and find a moment to reflect upon the time in life you have lived, to be present in all that you do today. So, what is your moment in time? What makes you the person you are today?
I think when I say this, it's going to sound extremely trivial because I don't know if you were expecting some kind of like super life-changing moment, but for me, it was as simple. It was as, to me, it's a very significant thing is getting a rabbit.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
that simple. My whole life, me and my sister and my brother, we've always wanted a pet. We wanted a dog
Mhm, mhm,
specifically, but my mom's always been against the idea because she's had a dog at her younger age and then she lost it and she felt that that kind of pain was too much for kids to handle.
mhm,
One. Second, she didn't trust that we could, handle the cleaning, the taking care after of another creature when she's doing all of that for us. So for a
mm,
very long time, she didn't allow such things in life. And then when COVID struck, my brother and his friends, they were university students, a bunch of young kids, they went to a pet store and got a rabbit for like 30 ringgit. And they've been raising it in their campus. But when COVID
mhm,
struck and everybody had to go home, nobody wanted to take that thing home. And my brother said that
mm.
I'm not gonna leave this here. Like, who's gonna feed it? And then he didn't ask my mom's permission because he knew my mom's gonna say no. So he just packed it up and then brought it home anyways. And he
Yeah.
told her, "Oh, it will go away in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I'll give it to another friend. They'll come and get it." So my mom was like, "Okay, 2 weeks, only 2 weeks." But then we knew it's not gonna happen. We knew it
Yeah,
was gonna
yeah.
stay. So when the rabbit first came home, I had no idea what a rabbit is. I've always just seen it on, cartoons or rabbit eats carrots, things like that. Like I had no concept of rabbit is a very delicate pet or whatsoever. But when it came, then I saw that it had some sneezing going on. And when you Google, it's like, oh no, rabbit's not supposed to have sneezing going on. I was like, okay, let's take it to the vet. Then when you took it to
Mhm,
the vet was like, "What's your rabbit's name?" I'm like, "I don't know, it's not mine." But then at that moment, you're supposed to register and go in. I was like, "Oh, my rabbit is called Bunny." So you just fill up
mm,
rabbit's name, Bunny. It's like the most cliche thing. But that moment onwards, nursing the rabbit and learning every step on how delicate they are and coming to know her personality, that has been the most important thing that has happened to me. It has made me
mhm,
such a better person. Like suddenly everything is important. Like previously, all stray animals were just stray animals. Did not have any significance in my life. But having had and to love this rabbit now, suddenly all those animals, I feel like I can see a difference in them. Like I can see that they have a personality. I can see that they have a life. I can see that they have difficulties. It's like I feel like I've opened up a new eyes, to
yeah.
see love in the creatures around me.
Yes, it's funny you mentioned that these animals have their own personality. You can notice that, right? They are unique, just like us. And
Yes,
then you
they
find them,
definitely are.
yeah.
It is how to say it is very important. The person I was like 2 years ago before COVID started and the person I am now is like two completely different people.
Hmm, hmm,
Previously I had this very innate passion and I wanted to become an artist. I wanted to
hmm,
become someone who can perform on stage. And my idea of artist that time was idolizing this Korean artist, and they had like serious beauty standards which you need to live up to. And I've been looking up to them since I was like 8.
hmm,
So I hated scars on my body. Whenever I fall down or if I like accidentally spill hot water on myself, my first thought wouldn't be, "Oh my gosh, this hurts." It would be like, "Oh my god, it's gonna scar."
hmm,
That's how
hmm,
deep I was involved in that kind of thought of being pretty. I need to follow up to the standards so that I can become a good artist, so that people will choose
hmm,
me to become an artist and things like that. But after getting an animal and loving them, and when you feed strays and then when they're sick, my whole hands and arms are now filled with scratch marks. And to me now it's like a proud moment, like when I look at my scars, I know that okay,
ah,
yesterday this cat took its medicine and that's why it has left this scar. Or there are scars in my body from animals which I took care of and then sent off to foster and then now they have adopters. So when I look at the scars, I'm like,
mm,
oh, this was this cat. Oh, he's doing great now. He has a good parent now. It's like the scars in my body speak so much more and I don't
mm,
hate it anymore. So I believe that it has given me like the way to look at myself differently. Like it's more
mm,
important now that although I'm scarred, I have so much love for
mm.
the world and myself.
Yeah, yeah. You're also a finalist of Ratu Wanita Malaya and a Miss
Yes.
Congeniality. And then to talk about these animals changing your
Mm-hmm.
life on top of this being a finalist,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really it's two different things, you see. And You find it in these animals instead of this thing that you wanted to be like when you were young.
Yes, definitely.
Can?
Because
Can?
when I was young,
Huh.
sometimes you have dreams, but then your dreams, you don't achieve those dreams. I was very
Mm-mm.
cooped up in trying to achieve these dreams so much that I didn't live in the present moment. I was always like, if I don't do this now, later in my future, it will be like this. If I do this now, later in the
Mm-mm.
future, it will be like this. I was so looking forward to the future that a lot of times I forgot to live my moment in life now. So when I was
Mm.
in doing A levels and things like that, I don't remember the moment of being there in the university with the group of friends because I was constantly like, okay, this is not important. It's not going to help me in my future. It's not going to help me
Mm-mm.
become this person I want in the future. And when
Yeah.
that image that I was trying to achieve in the future didn't happen, I broke down, because I
Mm-mm.
couldn't see any other option outside of life. Like, what do I live for now? Like, if this is not going to happen, what do I live for now? How do I steer my life now? And that was one of
Mm-mm.
the crucial moment when my bunny came into their life. So it's like it shifted everything. Like when you wake up in the morning, now there's an important thing for me to do. I need to feed this rabbit. I need to give it medication, and you kind of bond with it. You see that thing grow into a more personal. It has more personality now. You can see that he's more confident, she's more confident, and that gives me more confidence. So now
Yeah.
suddenly that that trivial thing about looking forward to the future changes to everything that I want now is to spend time with this rabbit, to create as much memories as I can with this rabbit and live in the
Mm-hmm.
moment with this rabbit. And that kind of
Mm-mm.
changed everything because when you live in the present, I feel like you get to look around the world more, like I now have a lot of memories with my friends that I have now because of this small incident. Because I feel like
Yeah.
I'm more grounded now.
Yeah. 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 Do you still get upset now you know that maybe, I mean, it happens to me too. Like some of my dreams did not come true. Like, does this animal give you more meaning that if you don't get to live your dreams, but do you think you can still be hopeful to your dreams in the future?
Oh, definitely. You see,
Yeah.
I wanted to become a Korean artist,
Yeah.
those idols who sing and dance on stage. How much I was invested in this dream was I started learning Korean language at the age of 8 on my own. I'm very
Mm.
fluent in Korean. I can read, write, and speak Korean now.
Mm.
And that
Mm.
wasn't through formal education. I did this because I had the perception that, I was from outside Korea. So in order to boost my chances of getting chosen by the system, I need to have that extra thing. And I thought that
Yeah.
if I had the language, then they would see me more. But at that
Yes.
time, when you go for the auditions and things like that, they did not like my appearances. That was one. So,
Okay.
despite me having or not having a talent, that wasn't even their concern. You go through
Yeah.
online audition, as in because I'm an international person, right? So you submit like a voice file and things like that. You submit it, and then they screen it from all the applications around the world, and then they'll give you
Mm-hmm.
a date and time for you to go for
Mm-hmm.
the indoor audition with them. So
Mm-hmm.
before the indoor audition, they don't see you. So they just like listen to your file and then they'll pick out like 100 people from around the world. So I was one of those people who always got chosen in that 100 people.
Mm.
But when I go there, then you could see in the way that they treat you and the way that they handle your paperwork that
Yeah.
they've decided that they're not going to pick me.
Does it have to do with you as a person, your background, the
It
color
has
of
a
your
lot,
skin, maybe?
yeah, definitely. That's definitely one of the, it had a lot to do with how I looked instead of
Mm.
whether or not I could sing, whether or not I could dance, they have decided like they'll put us on stage like six of us for an audition, and you could just see that they've decided that okay, this person is not going to work out. They like you could see the way that they're handling your form, the way they don't look at you. You know that they've decided. So
Mm.
it is it was painful at that moment because I'm from a middle class poor family kind of person. So for me to go overseas and handle this thing, I have to put
Mhm.
everything that I had in to purchase the ticket, to convince my
Mhm.
parents, and then to go and get
Mm.
a hotel and do it alone. And you go
Yeah.
all the way from here, and then they've decided that they're not going to pick you without even listening to you.
Mm-mm.
But I still
Mm.
did it. I
Mm.
still did it like three, four times because I couldn't let go of it, because I knew I could. Like you
Mm-mm.
would pick me without looking at me in from
Mm-mm.
1,000 people who apply. But the moment you look at me, you dah decide that you tak nak. It's like it was like why you don't give me a
Oh
chance
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah, yeah,
moment.
yeah. Yes, I know what you mean.
If I didn't have that worth, you wouldn't have picked me in the first place, right? So I wouldn't have
Yes.
been holding on to that hope so much. But you let me come
Mm-mm.
so close to the crown, but then you just don't, you just cast me aside because of the way I
Yeah,
look.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it was very difficult to handle. Like my whole life was just looking up to that. So even now, when I see go for concerts and things like that, there'll be a big moment where I'll just sit and break down because I'll be like, that could have been me on that stage if you gave me a chance.
Mm-mm.
I
Yeah,
have that
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
lot. Like even when I sit at home and watch those concerts on TV, or when I see like, those American idols where they have this winning
Yeah,
moment and things like that, I really break down from time to time. I'm like, that could have been me. You just had to give me a
yeah,
chance,
yeah.
but you didn't. But
It's like me. It's like me watching people win an award an Oscar
yeah,
ke apa ke. I'm like, it's supposed to be
kan?
me. I'm supposed to be to
Kan?
show you or something.
I'll be like, I'm better than you, dude.
Yes, yes, I'm
Uh,
supposed to be.
he
I know
was
it's it.
supposed to be me. Could have been
But if
me,
you
but
when you participate this apa what do you call this tryout, not tryout, this audition,
auditions. Mm-hmm.
what is it for? What does it entail you to be a dancer or to be a group member of a Korean girl pop
Mm-hmm.
band, or
At that
is it
time
something
when
like
you
that?
enter and when you enter, right, there's this trainee recruitment system, as in you when you go for audition, you showcase all talents that you have. So if you sing, then you just show them whether you that you can sing. If you dance, then you show them you can dance. If you have a pretty face, you go to show them you have a pretty face. So what
Mm-hmm,
these recruiters do is they gather all these talents from around the world, and then they'll put
mm-hmm.
you through training for like a few months to a few years, and then from that they will rearrange you. Is this person going to become a solo? If you're more suitable in a group, then they'll put you. But the ultimate goal
Oh,
was to stand on stage. So the starting is to actually first get recruited into the training system. That's the
okay,
system lah. Macam tu.
okay. Do you have to pay
No,
to
if you get
be?
chosen,
No.
then
Oh,
they'll take care
okay,
of you. Yeah, but
okay,
that's the
okay.
thing. You don't get chosen.
Okay, I understand. Okay. What has led you to be on this journey? Like, why Korean would be the
Mm,
moment you think you are interested in?
I'm the first time I saw a Korean artist was, I think, when I was 8 or something like that, and then it was like an accidental discovery while doing some civic project or something like that. I saw like, oh, this video, and then I saw them on stage. And as a child, I was a very introverted person. Like I went to a lot of competitions. I was always constantly doing public speaking and storytelling, but that was mostly because I really did not like my class environment and being surrounded by so many people at
Mm,
that point. So when I saw them performing on stage, it just gave me a spark. Like, this is it. This is meaning of life. This is called enjoying. And I was really
mm-mm,
invested in it. I really, really have this strong urge to want to stand and shine on stage, kind of thing. I really got no reason, no way to put it to words on why you want it so badly, but it's just something that you want. And
yeah.
then it just felt like it was my calling at that time. So I just put
Mm-mm,
everything that I could as a middle class 8-year old, everything that I could put in to become a good artist, I put it in. Like when I go out, like I'll make sure that I dress a certain way because in my mind it's like, oh, 20 years from now, I wouldn't want shabby pictures of my childhood still facing. Like
yeah,
I want to
yeah.
look nice, this kind of thing. So whenever I go out, I would have been so conscious about myself. I'll pick out my outfits, look good,
Mm-mm,
wear heels, this kind of things.
mm-mm,
Like that's how my childhood was because I was so invested in becoming a good artist in the future with clean background and record. You try it for a few times, then it comes to a moment where it's not gonna happen lah. You know that they're not gonna pick you after
mhm.
3 to 4 times, and I've invested everything that I could invest financially, and I just couldn't push into the industry anymore, then you just break down, you go into depression, you just lose a sense of
Yes,
yourself because this has been my whole thing. Like I spent my
yeah.
entire childhood from 8 to 18 doing this, and then now when I'm 18, you're telling me that no, you're not good enough. Then I'm suddenly like,
Mm-mm,
so what do I do now? What do I do of this person that I've created now? Oh, how do I go on
mm,
in life? Like, what do I look at tomorrow?
mm-mm.
Yeah.
So this has led you to become a fashion model.
After I came to like calm down a bit from depression and everything, then um and found my rabbits and everything. I was a very charitable person at that moment, and then I found out about kids through this NGO called FoReka.
Yeah,
So at that
yeah.
one point, we were trying to advertise the NGO, and one of the ways was to talk to KOLs, people who are famous and are about to become famous, and I approached one of the beauty pageants. And while I was speaking to the person, I was like, "Can you help me advertise this?" And then the director was like, "Why are you asking for help? Why don't you come in and do it yourself? Like, you seem like you have the potential." And then,
Mm-mm.
when someone tells you things like that, especially when you've been craving for those kind of words, like you can do it, you can stand on stage, it was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, okay, maybe this is it, maybe we can try this. So it was just like the intention was to promote FoReka, but also, okay, maybe it's not too bad, we can try pageant. That was my first step into pageant.
So you started FoReka, you co-founded FoReka,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And
And
then
then
to
at the same time,
advertise FoReka, I was like,
yes,
let's try out pageant. Okay,
pageant.
macam tu.
So what does FoReka stands for? It's a social enterprise that
FoReka,
empower
yeah, it is.
underprivileged communities.
It is called
Yeah.
FoReka, for mereka, untuk mereka. FoReka.
Oh, okay. So it's a social enterprise that empower underprivileged communities through their participation in entrepreneurial activities to achieve
Yes,
self-sustainability.
it sounds very nice when you put it that way, but it is
Yeah,
not that easy. Okay, the essential idea
yeah.
under FoReka is that we found out that in
Uh-huh.
orphanage systems in our country and others, once
Yeah.
they are 18, they
Mm-hmm.
age out of the system, so they are to leave their current homes, like their current orphanage. That's just the rule. It's just the law.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're not prepared for that life. Like us, when we turn 18, we're supposed to pick like college or something. We sit with our parents, we sit with our relatives
Yeah.
and friends and have a conversation. But these children don't have that kind of background and community to pick what they want to do in life. One. Second is
Yes.
they're usually very left behind in studies anyways. So they're not
Mm-hmm.
set for the path of getting scholarship and getting tertiary education, and
Mm-hmm.
they just age
True.
out of the system and they
Mm-hmm.
disappear, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
as a children they are in the system, then 18 they go out, and then nobody tracks where these kids go to. And
Mm-mm.
from
They just
our
disappear.
research, they just
Oh,
disappear
yeah.
because
Yeah, yeah.
oh, you're an adult now, we don't need to keep track of you, okay, bye. We found out that they are very exploitable, because
Yes.
psychologically they're invested in the system where you give me food, you give me shelter, I'll do whatever you say. That's how their whole way of life have been in orphanages. So when they
Mm-mm.
go out, they get exploited by people who are looking for this kind, like, who's looking for drug mules, those people in gangs,
Yes.
prostitution. They pick these
Yes.
kids up and use them because these kids do not have any idea on how the adulting world works. They think that's how it
Mm-mm.
is. You give me something, I give you something in return. You give me shelter, I take your things and go and deliver somewhere. They are brought up in that situation, and
Mm-mm.
nobody seems to pay attention to how serious that problem is, because we have more than 100,000 children in the system now. It means 100,000 children are probably going to age out and become potential criminals because we are not looking at
Yes,
them.
yes, yes, yes. I was about to say that this happens in America.
Mm-hmm.
People, when they reach their maturity age, which is 18, most of them disappear. And do you know what they end up
Exactly.
become? They become prostitute, they
Oh
become
my God.
drug mule. They also get involved they put them in this thing called human trafficking for all these
Yes, exactly. It's
crimes.
that
And
simple. It's
yeah,
that simple. You just
I don't
pick
know
them
about
up and then
Malaysia, but I know that this
it
happens in
happens in
America
Malaysia
because
too, Rafi. It
I was a
happens in
social
Malaysia.
worker.
Oh, I say.
Mm, mm.
The thing about Malaysia is nobody knows.
Itulah, because I don't know if, I don't want to
It
say if
is.
our
I don't
government
understand.
don't
I don't
care, but I don't
understand
know where they go.
how.
They just
Yeah,
disappear.
they just disappear. And the
They
thing
just
is,
disappear. Yeah.
everybody is so invested in your life. It's like, okay, once in a while we go and donate orphanages. It just, I think, like, it never crossed other people's minds that
Mm-mm,
these kids will one day grow up. Then apa jadi dengan diorang?
mm-mm,
Nobody had
mm-mm,
space
mm-mm.
in life to sit and think about it. I
Yes.
didn't have that space. It was an accidental discovery where I was like, oh, they just go out and become adults. And I'm like, how? I
Mm-mm.
can't adult. I like
Yeah, yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
at 22, I'm still struggling to find my path. And you're telling me these kids
Mm-mm.
who've got no relatives, no
Mm,
family, most of them came from broken family and have trauma. You're telling me that after 18, you just push them out of the only home they know
mm-mm,
and
mm-mm.
expect them to be adults.
And I don't know if this figures is correct, but at least you see 1 to 10% of people that came out of orphanage become somewhere, become something or somebody. But where is that? 90% that
Yes,
you don't see
yes,
them anymore.
exactly.
You know what I
And
mean?
for you
You know what I
to
mean?
find that 1 in 10% is so
Ah,
susah. You
yeah,
don't
yeah,
see people
susah.
who are successful
Yeah,
coming out and saying like, "Oh, I'm from
no,
this orphanage." It's so rare.
no.
It's so so
Yeah,
rare.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So
heard this.
where
I
where are
heard
these
this.
kids?
Yeah.
Every year, children are aging out, hundreds and thousands of them. So where do they go? Nobody knows. Nobody's tracking these
Mm-hmm.
kids, and that gives me so much stress for some reason. I'm like, kenapa korang tak jaga dia? They are our kids,
Mm-mm.
you know. At one point, it
Mm-mm.
struck me like I'm from a small family. We don't have extended relatives and something like that. So it just came, it was a thought that if one day I have kids and say like I die in a car crash or something, my children are going to end up in this same broken system.
Mm-mm.
So I was so upset about it. Like, why are we so broken? Like, why is no one turning and looking at these kids? You know, they are
Mm-mm.
our community children. And I don't mean it in a very in any insensitive way, but they are so similar to our strays. You know, we treat these
Mm-mm.
orphan kids like how we treat the strays. You bagi
Oh,
makan, you bagi shelter,
yeah,
then
yeah.
okay, bye. Nobody takes notice like this child probably has a potential. Maybe she wants to become a doctor. Maybe she's struggling with depression. Nobody does
Mm-mm.
that. Everybody is just
Mm-mm.
like, oh, dia ada makan, dia ada rumah. Okay, bye. Our friends
Tak
settle.
tahu.
Macam tu. Difficult even as an
Mm-mm.
insider in FoReka to steer this because the orphanage system in Malaysia itself is so hard. Like they find us a lot of times they find us like nuisance, you know, because the management already have their hands full. They have to wake up in the
Mm-mm.
morning, clean the kids, send all the kids to school, and get the kids back, then feed the kids and clean them again and put them to bed. So when we go in and we're like, let me teach your children entrepreneurship, they're like, why are you disrupting my schedule? You know, like we've got no time for this. We
Mm-mm.
already have a lot of things to do. And I don't blame them, you know, they're trying to do their best with the things that they have. It's just that at their point, they cannot prioritize looking into the kids' future because they're so invested in getting them to eat and be healthy now. So when we go
Yes,
in,
yes.
we are not very accepted. We're always like mengganggu their schedule, their current schedule.
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm.
it's
Mm-mm.
difficult
Mm-mm.
for FoReka to even sustain. We have the idea, we have the
Mm-mm.
importance, but I think we lack how to steer this in this community, you know, how to get the
Mm-mm.
orphan managers to realize or how to get the government to look at this and say, you know what, these people are right. We are losing children to criminals. It's difficult
Yeah.
to get the correct eyes because having difficulty staying afloat because of
I,
this, because
yeah, I bet.
we
Yeah.
we can't convince our friends enough and we don't have enough hands to go in there and tell them that this is important, please let us educate your kids. And even the
Mm-mm.
kids, they have to go to school, they have to come back, they have to like adapt, follow their routine inside the orphanage. It is difficult to help them find a time to like, okay, duduk duduk belajar business dengan saya. It's like it's difficult lah.
Mm-mm. 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 What do you need to get FoReka back on track? You can pour your heart out here. Like what do you need? Like who do you need to work with? Who do you need to get involved? Like I know the government. What
I
what can
think
you
right now
say
we
here?
just need we need people to, like I just told you the entire problem, right? I really,
Hmm.
really need people to just see that first.
Yeah.
How big of a problem this is. Like we're not just some random NGO which popped out of nowhere. We came out because this problem is so huge. Every year we lose children into the system and nobody's tracking them. They're not
Mm-mm.
educated. You know, when we went into this orphanage and this girl was like 16, but then their whole life is inside the orphanage. They don't pernah pergi mama. They've never been to a mall. They don't go out for trips and things like that. They do not know how to order food at mama.
Mm-mm.
When you bring them
Mm-mm.
to mama stall, they don't know how to call a waiter. They don't know what exists in mama because they don't have such experiences in life. And she's 15 and she don't know what a 20 ringgit can buy. But you're
Mhm.
telling me in 2, 3 years she's gonna go and become an adult outside. Like the equation doesn't add up.
Yeah, yeah, true.
So these children, they're not growing in the system. They just live in the system. They get fed, they have shelter, but they're not getting the kind of life education everyone needs. They don't have any financial knowledge whatsoever. They don't know what is a 20 ringgit, what can a 20 ringgit buy in these days, how to order food. They don't have any of these basic skills. But at 18, they have to leave home and go and become an adult.
Mm-mm.
So to me,
Mm-mm.
it's like I have parents, I go out with my friends to the mall, I go to mama shop and I say that I suffer from introversy and it's difficult for me and things like this. when you put it into perspective, the problems that I face is nothing compared to these children. They don't even know they have this kind of problem.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just sometimes it's very, concerning, like we're just the government is so cooped up in doing a lot of things. I know a lot of things are important, but children, they're the future of the country, they
Mm-mm.
are in the community. It's our responsibility. People always say, it takes a village to raise a child.
Mm-hmm.
The village is just not there. The child is raising itself. It's just ouch.
Yeah. I was when I was a social worker. One of the things I said in the training was everything begins at home.
Mm,
So if their upbringing or if their background is not conducive for them to become the person that is berguna apa berguna that is berguna untuk masyarakat,
I
maknanya
see, I see. Mm,
untuk and if they don't become that person, they will become a problem to the community.
that is true.
When they become a problem to the community, the whole community will be affected. You will have more crimes. You will, the community is basically it lah. It's not sustainable
Mm,
because when you have more crime, it would just collapse the whole
yes,
system. Yeah.
that's definitely true. It's like
Yes.
we always look at the outside, we're like, oh, we can't
Yeah.
have refugees because it'll contribute to more crimes. We can't have so many foreign workers in the state because it'll contribute to more
Mm-mm.
crimes. I'm like, dude, have you seen your orphanage system? That's contributing to more crimes.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
like,
They don't
like,
look into
look
that.
around.
You're making more
Yeah,
crime. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Betul.
I feel like it's a perfect crime, for people who want to exploit these kids because I did psychology, I have a degree in psychology
Mm.
and neuroscience, so I know how the children's mentality work. When you come out
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
such a demanding system, you want to confirm back to it. You will look for that security again. You want to be fed, you want to have a shelter, and you want to be told what to do. Children will come out into the community with that mindset. So they will very
Mm-mm.
easily go behind people who offer these kind of things,
Mm.
which could
Yeah.
be
Yeah. Yeah.
prostitution, which could be
Yes.
drug muling. Like it's
Yeah.
how easy you just pick them up on streets. Like you don't have home, okay, I'll give you home. Come, let's go.
Yeah.
Finish.
Yeah. They give all that. They know they go lah for it because it's
Yes,
easy.
and nobody
Yeah.
tells them what's wrong from right. You know,
Exactly.
the people, the management in the orphanage, they're doing their best, but they've got no time to sit the children down and tell them
Yeah.
what is
Yeah.
prostitution, what is drug muling, talk about current issues. They don't get into this kind of things. They just lived a very routine life. So when they leave the orphanage, they go back to looking for the exact routine life because that's the only bubble they know.
And talking about orphanage, the sad reality about orphanage is, I don't know about Malaysia, but in America, some people who gets benefit from orphanage, the orphanage don't even get that
Understand?
from what they are entitled for. You,
True.
you know what I mean? So it doesn't get to them. It gets
Yeah.
a bit, but their point of having an orphanage is for them. That's why this orphanage can sometimes we have the system to provide them, to be
Mm.
adequate for them to get what they need, but it's often not entirely
Yeah, it
being
doesn't go to
received.
them.
It doesn't go to them. That is also another issue that I think governmental bodies should look into this thing,
Yeah,
that make sure they don't just disappear. They get this education, information, and
you
it's
know,
not
in
not
Malaysia,
luxury. It's not
yeah,
luxury.
it's not
It's just
luxury, it's a basic
yeah. It's
need.
not basic necessity. Exactly. Yeah.
In Malaysia, we don't
Mm.
have a complete record of how many kids we have in orphanage. Like, we don't have a name list. It's as simple as that. We have
Mm.
like thousands of orphanages throughout the entire country. It started by some random NGO, some is governmental, some is non-governmental, public,
Mm-mm.
completely public. But until now, we don't
Mm.
know the exact number of children in the system. The
Mm-mm.
government just has not regulated it. It means you
Kan?
can't go into the government building and find out how many children are there. You just don't know. Like maybe Seremban ada 20 orphanage. Then maybe Selangor got another 30 more. But nobody
Mm-mm.
knows in these orphanages ada berapa orang budak-budak. Like nobody is checking on the number. It could be
Kesian.
increasing, it could be decreasing. There is it's simple as a name list. We do not have a name list of the number of children in this system. When you don't have
Mm-mm.
such important thing, it's such a simple thing. You just need to have a name list checklist of number of children in this home. And every home should
Yeah.
have one, and the government should have a collective record of all this. But they don't.
Mm-mm.
So what happens is that they miss out on as important as
Mm-mm.
getting an IC. You know,
Mm-mm.
at 12,
Mm-mm.
parents take us to go and get IC. A lot of kids in this system, they miss out on that because nobody's got time to pick you out of your home and go and get IC for you.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
at
yeah.
18, when they age out, baru they sedar like, oh, tak ada IC, tak ada kewarganegaraan, you become a stateless child. And they didn't even know they've been living in that situation for a long time. Why don't you have a list of kids that are in the system? Why they don't even have a list of the orphanages in the country?
Mm-mm.
They don't have a list of, maybe they probably have a list of the governmental organizations, who registered under the
Yeah,
government. But
yeah.
those NGOs yang register as berubah kebajikan, they don't have the entire list. This is why again and again child abuse cases happen. Hilang macam tu je.
Do they monitor, like, do they do a random check or
Mm.
random check or we call this, they do not spot check, but they do regulate this law for this
They
facilities to
have
make
like
sure. Do they
they
check
have
as,
big no, they don't. They have
they
like
don't,
things like
right?
this. Yeah, they have like, okay, kalau you nak start rumah kebajikan, you need to have
Mm,
like fire extinguisher. You need to have your house must be this big. You have to have 2 to 3 facilitators, and all facilitators must have a degree. Okay, full stop. Then you meet all these requirements. You go to SSM and sign up as rumah kebajikan. You can open your rumah kebajikan. Full stop. Finish.
that's it. And they don't come
That's
and
it.
monitor.
Nobody goes into these homes to
Mm-mm.
monitor. I don't know if you remember that child, I forgot her name, that girl with the Down syndrome who was severely
Bainon.
abused. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
see, if that situation of spot checking existed, she didn't have to suffer all that years. Nobody goes into these houses
Mm-mm.
and look at the kids.
This
Nobody
is
does.
serious issue. This is a very
It
serious
is
issue.
very big, but who's
But it's
listening?
funny how people defended her. It's
Yeah,
funny people
exactly. Like,
defended her
oh my God, I
when
was so
it's
upset to just look at that thing. Like, look at that
yes.
girl. Look at that girl. Look how horrible state she is. Okay, it's okay if you wasn't the abuser, but you're the home facilitator. Nampak kah ada yang kau jaga anak? You look at her and you know she's not been living
Mm-mm.
in a good condition. You're punishable for
Mm-mm.
that, dude.
And how do I mean she's caught now, but how could she get away with it? I mean, can
That is
and she,
how
I'm
trivial,
surprised.
how funny our judicial system
System.
is.
Oh.
Yeah, it's our system because we don't have written laws against this kind of issues because we've never seen this as an issue. That is why we don't have strong laws against it. So when
Mm.
something big happens, it's new. It's new, so we use all the other laws around this issue to conduct
Mm-mm.
to fight for this issue, but you don't have a specific law for this problem itself. That is why her
Mm-mm.
punishment is tak setimpal dengan benda yang buat.
Tak setimpal and people don't care. I mean,
I've actually emailed like a few politicians who we know are good public figures, like people call them public figures. Like I've emailed
uh-uh.
them and told them about this, and the response I get is like, "It's not under our department. We're not planning on doing this kind of things now. Maybe you can approach someone else." Full stop.
But
Then
who
I'm like,
else
"Yeah, like
if it's
who
not
else?
them?
Where else you
Mm-mm.
want me to go?
Mm.
You are the ones who promised to look after the kebajikan. You are the one handling this woman and children thing, and I go to you and you
Mm-mm.
tell me to go somewhere else. So where else do I bring this problem to?"
Mm-mm. Takkan nak pergi Kementerian Pengangkutan kot.
Itulah, aduh.
Kan? Kalau tak bukan Kementerian Kebajikan.
Yeah, and they really respond that, they're like, oh, we're currently cooked up in doing this campaign, so we can't help you now. Maybe you can seek out somewhere else. Like, they don't even offer, like, you know what, maybe
Mm-mm.
I can't concentrate on you now, but maybe I can give you this kind of support. What do you think? Do you think you need this many, or do you think you need me to give you this kind of things? I have this kind of things. No, they just shut you down. They're like, we
Mm.
can't do it now. Okay, bye.
And I believe the orphans or people who are in this kebajikan placement is,
Mm-hmm.
I think most of them are Malaysians too, are rightfully
Yes.
Malaysian citizens. I know we have
Yes.
issues about non-citizens who are
Mm.
refugees, and we have laws about that, which I'm not going to speak about. But
Yeah, that's a
I'm
different
sure
episode.
that's a different episode. But I'm sure most of them are Malaysian citizens, rightfully Malaysian citizens.
Yes.
Can
And you
I
know the
know for
funny
sure? I
thing, 90% of the kids in the orphanage, they have parents. They have parents, but they're from like broken families. Macam contohnya, they're from family yang victim
drug
of domestic
addicts.
abuse. Yes, drug addicts, domestic
Yeah.
abuse, where your parents are incapable of taking care of you. So you're now in the system. So a lot of times these kids get visitations from like their mom or something like that who is working in a low cost job and can sustain the child, and the child in the system.
Mm-mm.
Or like sometimes your parents are in prison and you are in the system. Like that's just it. A lot of them have this kind of family.
And I think the system is very fishy too.
It
They
is. It
con
is very
they
fishy.
conceal something I don't see in the news very much. They conceal these
Not
things.
everyone, not everyone, but it does happen. It definitely does happen. It's
Something
typical
fishy.
when
Very
you look
funny.
at these kids, and then when you talk to them and you listen to their stories, then you're like, you feel so down to have been, stressing over things like coffee or bread or things like that when this child's
Mm.
entire existence is being ignored.
I mean, no doubt some people think this group of people are burden to the people.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Burden,
yes,
it's a
definitely.
burden. It's a burdening issue to carry on because I know people say that they cannot teach them. These people are just like this and like that. But that's not an excuse.
I feel like you're not giving them the chance. Like it is the
Mm,
government's ensure
yeah.
that the children of the community get educated and are able to live a sustaining life. Itu adalah the responsibility of the government. But you
Mm-mm,
don't. You let the
mm-mm,
parents handle it. So the children without parents, the children without such an important role in their life, they're just left abandoned. They don't get the same kind of education. They don't get the same
mm,
kind of counseling. They don't get the same kind of scholarship opportunities. They know nothing about the outside world. You keep them like inside a cage. And then one day
mm-mm.
you just book up the cage and say that it's time for you to leave because someone else new is coming to your cage.
Once they release them, where do they go? Like, how do they
I
find
don't
a
know,
house?
Rafi. Nobody finds out. That's the issue here, you see. That's the
Really?
thing. I can't go online and find one person who can tell me that I was an orphan and I'm a successful person now. I met like two people,
Mm-mm.
but they're in Australia. So I'm like, what about Malaysians? Are there
Are they
no
being
successful
are they
Malaysian
being
orphans?
trafficked?
I
Are they
don't
being tra
know. That is why it's scary. I really don't know.
Oh, yeah,
Nobody has the answer to this question. Like, so all this while this child's been living in this system, esok dia 18 years old, lusa kau nak dia keluar rumah, so dia keluar rumah dia pergi mana?
mana ada rumah nak pergi?
Itulah. Like, where do they go? Some orphanages that I've seen, the ones that I work with, they have like a grace period. Like, they let the child stay until like she's 21, or if the child is like, if it's a girl or something, then they hook them up with this, women's aid organization and charity, all women kind of workers. Some orphanages do that for their children,
Mm-mm,
but not
mm-mm,
all have that kind of capabilities and time on their hand. So majority don't. So we don't
mm-mm.
know what happens. We just lose the children to age. They're 18, okay, bye, delete, delete. Okay, next child comes in.
Have you seen this movie called Traffic?
No, tell me about
What
it.
happened was this is in Houston, this is in Houston, Texas. It's one of the largest human trafficking, So what
Mm-hmm.
happened in orphanage is that once they reach the age, they sell these girls.
Ouch.
They told these girls, the orphanage told these girls they are going to get a job and everything. But they being sold to a person who would prostitute these girls and they give them drugs, so they become addicted and everything. So I went to this conference called Every Victim Every Time in Texas in
Mm-hmm.
2017 or 2018. 17, yeah. They talk exactly this. They talk exactly this every time, every victim, every time. You can Google this conference.
Mm-hmm.
They talk how they manipulate these children, people. They feed them drugs, so they get addicted to it, and then this is the life they have to live. And then once if authority come to them to save them, they don't want to be saved.
Yeah, because they don't know
They
what's being
yeah,
saved.
they're dependent to this person who is an abusive relationship to them. One or two would want to escape, but generally they would stay in that brothel or in that thing,
Mm.
and it's difficult to see, as difficult as seeing children being abused. It is.
We won't even know if it's happening because, like I said, we don't have something as simple as a name list. You know, if we
Mm-mm,
had a name list saying we have Abu, Adam, and Siti in the system, if we knew that we have these three people in the system, at 18, we can go and check on them. Like, okay, now it's 18, Abu's supposed to leave the system. Where is Abu now? Where is Siti now?
mm-mm,
Where is Adam now? But because we don't have their system, even if they're
mm-mm,
being cut up and sold to people, we wouldn't know.
mm-mm.
Even if they've been beaten to death, we wouldn't know because
Yeah.
nobody is looking for these kids. No parent is coming for this kid. No teacher is looking out for this child. She's an orphan who's got no people to hold on to, no people to search for her when she's missing. So if she's
Mm-mm.
missing, she's simply missing. Nobody even knows she's missing.
Yeah, yeah. Now, talking about the safety and security concern in this issue, people that talk about this, is it safe for people to raise these issues?
Okay, if you say not safe, I mean, I've not
Mm-mm,
come across things like that. I'm not sure how is
mm,
it not safe. Like, what is
mm-mm.
some kind of black circle lot gonna come for me or something? I don't know. Not
Yeah, 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 yeah.
no
No.
voice haven't reached that far for me to find out yet.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm still just
Can.
talking within the 30, 40 people around me. So I don't know. I
Mm-mm,
don't know if it's safe or not. But the thing is, if it comes to a point where it's not safe to talk about, then there is a bigger issue for to be worried about.
mm-hmm.
That
Wow.
as a citizen living in this country, I am not allowed to talk about the orphanage living in this country because someone is going to come for me. That
Mm,
is a very big problem.
yeah, yeah. Well said, well said. That's a really,
There's really nothing else I can say about it. That's
I
just
love it.
problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a really well said statement you made there. I'm glad we had this conversation. I did not expect this conversation, but I think
Yeah.
this is an important issue that we need to not just bring forward, but to raise a concern that it
Honestly,
is
Rafi,
not.
to be telling you honestly, I really don't know how to go about with this. I
Mm,
know what
mm,
there is this issue. So to help with that, we started FoReka because we knew that these children are very dependent on the system. So the idea of FoReka was to go in there and teach
mm,
them about money, and you should tell them
mhm,
that, with modal serendah 30 ringgit, you can like own
mhm.
a small bracelet shop and you can go and sell them and then you can get money and you can sustain yourself. To just introduce this concept of an alternative world than depending to other people. That was it.
Yeah,
That's all we wanted, to tell them that
yeah,
dengan RM30 ni je, you boleh earn as much as RM100 if you try and
yeah,
put in the effort. That
yeah.
is all that we could offer for them. But honestly, we also don't know how to steer this problem around because there is a bigger problem at hand. Other than
Mhm.
just going inside there and treating them
True.
entrepreneurship, we need the most basic thing right now is a name list of these kids.
Mm,
As simple
mhm.
as that. Why don't we have the name list of all the children in the country?
What
So
about
kalau
case
aku tak ada
files?
case files,
Mm.
I believe
Tak
that
ada.
each orphans have it. For example, if I'm opening up an orphanage, I probably
Mm,
have a list of the kids in my orphan and like emergency contacts if ada macam tu I ada. So if you
mhm,
open an orphanage and you have a set of kids, you have it. But if something
mm,
goes wrong inside my orphanage, you wouldn't know because you don't know my kids, you know?
mm,
Today I
mm,
have
mm,
20 and tomorrow I have 15, you wouldn't know.
mm.
All you see is just kids running here and there. You wouldn't
It
know the
is.
exact number. You wouldn't know if five of my kids are sold to someone else. You wouldn't know if someone died in that, because you don't know. You don't know the
This
existence of these kids.
Sky, this is bougie. This is beyond
It is
bougie, beyond
so
fishy.
scary. It is like, how did the government overlook such a big thing? Why is there such a
Yeah.
huge hole in the system?
Mm-mm.
Senang je. Kenapa kau tak ada name list? Like, you can't go into any website and look for a complete name list of all the orphanages and the orphans. Forget
Mm-mm.
and or. You can't find a
Mm-mm.
complete name list of all the orphanages or all the children. Name list
Mm-mm.
complete orphanages yang wujud kat Malaysia pun kita tak ada.
Mm-mm. Dia tak ada lah macam online system kan, macam kalau kat US
Tak
dia
ada.
ada lah
Like any dodgy
system to
person
check.
who
Yeah.
don't have. I could have a diploma in early childhood and I can start an orphanage tomorrow. It's as simple as that.
Wonder what happens to these people kan?
Exactly.
They could be,
Exactly.
I mean, if they are murdered is one thing lah, but if they, I don't know, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know. The possibilities are endless
I'm
in
scared
a
now.
negative
Like,
spectrum, you know?
oh.
It's not the possibilities are endless very positively. It's
Oh,
the possibilities are endless in the dark
and
side.
then,
It
yes,
just
and when
goes
you
deeper and
say,
deeper. Oh gosh,
it
it's
goes
scary.
deeper and deeper, and there's no way you can go around it.
Yeah, there is nothing. There's just no way around it. I feel like the most important thing that the government can do is to come up with a name list. If we don't even have a system to regulate these orphanages, you know, like how in America they have this like foster system lah, apalah inilah.
Yeah,
It
there
doesn't
is, yeah,
have to be
they have,
that.
yeah.
It doesn't have to go to that extent because I understand Malaysia doesn't work the same way as America. But you could just
Yeah.
have this 6 monthly checkup, you know, ask them, have someone go over and just look at the kids and go through the name list that 6 months ago we had 12 kids. Do we still have 12 kids now? It's as simple as that, but nobody does that.
Wow. Well, we can go on and on about
Yeah,
this,
we can
and
go on and
yeah,
on.
it's very
That
interesting conversation.
that child, that Down syndrome girl, she could have
Hmm.
died. If she did
Mm-mm.
die, she would have just been discarded as another nameless body, and the
And what
place would
happened
have.
to her?
Yeah, she was moved to a governmental facility and being taken better care for now. But
How
that's
do
why I said,
we, how
how
are
do
we
we
sure
ensure?
that he is,
She's
yeah,
basically a
that
celebrity
she's,
now. I mean, not to be disrespectful, but the case brought way too much spotlight on her. So there are sponsors, definitely. There are people looking out for her, and the
okay.
government, they cannot keep her in the dark. You know, she is known to the public. Her existence and her suffering is known to the public. So they are obligated to give her a better life now. You know, it's a good thing.
What about the rest who is not?
Bye.
Kan? I
I know
mean,
it's insensitive, but
she's
that
one
is
in
yes,
1,000,
she's one in
but what
1,000.
about the,
And I really don't mean this in a very insensitive way, but she got so lucky that someone spoke about it. You know, she was in
Mm-mm.
that house suffering for over months, and for some reason, someone thought that, you know what, we should report this. And that's why she was found. It could
Mm-mm.
still be happening now if that person, I don't know, went to work and decided that, you know what, I'm not going to be involved. She could still be suffering now. And for all we know, she could have been dead. And nobody would have found out about this binary person.
Mm-mm.
That's how broken our
Mm-mm.
system is. So we
Yeah,
found out
yeah.
about one child. We found out about one child being abused by one of a very reputable orphanage lah nak katakan at that place at that taman. How many orphanages do
Mm-mm.
we have? How are we sure that not other kids are not going through the same thing? We are not because we just don't know.
Okay.
The government don't know. I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. It just
Mm-mm.
happens.
And the funny thing also here that they have enough money, funding to
Oh
support
gosh.
this. I
Yeah,
know for sure.
the
I've seen
government has
donations
enough
from
money to the government have enough money
from
to
the
build
from
rail
zakat,
track
from
lah to
everything.
all this. I'm like, oh, it's so
Takkan ni tak ada. And
insignificant.
then all these
Kind.
contractors, all these contractors, companies make millions and they become rich. They send their kids to overseas, but they don't have enough to fund this. You know what I mean?
Forget about these NGOs, you know, like they are not obligated. The people who are obligated is the government. Have you seen our budget
Yeah.
system? Does it even have one mention about orphanages?
No.
Exactly. Why? You call them the children of the
Yeah.
community, but the community doesn't look out for them. The government doesn't have a space for them in every annual budget. It generally states that kebajikan wanita dan masyarakat is given this many amount, but nobody specifically states that for the education
Mm-mm.
of orphans, we will give this amount. You know, currently I'm working with an orphan called um the kids home, you know, and they're one of the good ones we've met. They really work hard towards getting the children educated. So this orphan girl goes to school, studies and everything, and now she's at a point in life where she is capable of receiving tertiary education. She's a smart child. But because she's an orphan, she does not have the security and does not have the funding to continue to a degree.
Mm-mm.
So the orphan is
Mm-mm.
like every week ada charity, every week ada, fundraiser. But berapa banyak je lah you boleh raise in that
Mm-mm.
kind of event. There's no way you're going to save up for that child to study tertiary education.
I rasa all this budget allocated goes to the person who in charge of the apa of the orphanage and go into their pocket.
Kan? The menteri-menteri kat atas. It doesn't even reach
Oh,
the
I
orphans.
rasa lah. I don't have a proof to say this, but I think
Exactly.
it's fishy like this. It's very fishy to allocate a budget that much, millions of dollars, and then and claim to go to all these places. And then for all you know, all these orphanages, sometimes, maybe not all, I don't know. I have no proof that but this is just a conspiracy
Mm.
theory.
In the budget Malaysia, right? It's like, oh, we give you like 100 million for kebajikan wanita and masyarakat. It's as general as that. So kebajikan wanita and masyarakat could be anything. It could be domestic violence victims. It could be funding single mom entrepreneurship. This kind of things. It could be anything. There is no single state saying that we're allocating 100,000 for this. 50,000 of that should go to the orphanages. No, there's just no
Mm-mm,
mention of
mm-mm,
orphans ever in the budget. So
mm-mm,
even if the menteri tak bagi kepada orphanage tu sah je lah, because you didn't tell me I have to do that. I could use the money for some other
mm-mm.
person. Mm.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it doesn't. I know for sure some don't get to them. It doesn't get.
Mm.
Or do they collect so much money through zakat, through this
Yeah.
taxes collection? I know they collect because they declare the amount, kan? Sometimes
Yeah.
goes millions, like 10 millions on
It
just
just, maybe
a
because I'm
state
just
alone.
yeah, I'm always very salty
Hmm.
about it because they're always like, oh, we're going to restart the Singapore Malaysia LRT project. I'm like, for what? For what now? You know how much
Mm,
important
mm-mm.
things we have at
Yeah,
hand. Kau siapa nak pergi beli bina LRT tak guna tu buat apa?
yeah. But they can start stuff like that. They can, but at the same time, they cannot neglect stuff like this.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
You can do that. You can do A. You can
Yes,
still do
your
B.
priorities need to be
Your
set straight.
priority. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, wow, I love this conversation. But how does this journey and experience has changed you? And how have you benefited from your chosen path in life?
You see, I would say that FoReka hasn't benefited me in any way. FoReka has just brought
Mm.
in a lot of stress
I was
because
just about to say because you cannot solve it. That's
yeah,
why.
yeah, exactly. If
Yeah,
if I
you
sta- I
cannot.
started FoReka, like me and my friend started FoReka, we had a lot of dreams, but we went to like two orphanages and sold like 50 bracelets, and then full stop. Everybody's gone off
Mm-mm,
to live their own lives. I don't blame them, like we're when we started it, we were like pre-used kids. So they want to go and get their degrees, their master, and setting their life straight. It's their right. I just feel
mm-mm,
that we started something so important, then we just left it because no one is giving us the enough acknowledgement. So it's just there. FORECA is constantly just floating in the back of my mind, causing more stress and distress, but it hasn't benefited me or the system in any way,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
horrible.
yeah, yeah. And what are the challenges you face
Mm,
that you need to encounter? How do you have to cope it? And what is your defining moment?
for starters, right? Like before we are talking about FORECA, we were talking about strays, right?
Hmm.
Strays have definitely given me more meaning in life because that is something that I can handle. I can't
Hmm.
change the system. Like the way Malaysia treats stray animals is as rubbish as it treats its orphans, or even
Mm-hmm.
worse. But I have this set of animals which I care for deeply. They're my community
Okay.
animals. I feed them, I take care of them, and they're in great health. So every morning
Mm-hmm.
when I go out and feed them and they come, I know that I've made a
Mm-hmm.
difference in this set of lives. And they're going to
Yeah.
go on
Yeah.
and have a quality life. They probably never have a home, but they have me and they
Mm-hmm.
know me. They know my family. They know my house. So that has given me so much more. I feel like an important person because of that. Like I need to wake
Mm-hmm.
up in the morning and I now need to go to work so that I can afford to buy food and medication for these cats. It's important
Mm-hmm.
because if I don't do it, who's going to do it? They rely on me
Mm-hmm.
now untuk makan 2 kali sehari, so it's my responsibility. That is one of the
Mm-hmm.
thing which keeps me going, like all
Yeah.
the stress in the world of like and not having achieving your dreams or something. I found a calling in being important to the animals. Like I have to go to work now. I have to be able to afford good medical system for these kids. They look up to me and they're gonna fall sick every day. and I have to be able to afford. That is one of my biggest motivation to get up and do things in life to increase my
Yeah,
affordability of
well
feeding
said.
my cats.
Well said. How do you take care of yourself now? You sound like you have are in a lot of stress. Now you focus on this little thing with your animals, I think, which is very good. How do you focus on yourself? Like, what do you do to keep yourself healthy?
Mm, I don't really have a set of proper guidelines for that, Rafi, honestly, because when I first started it, it was stressful, they'll fall sick frequently, but I get so much happiness in seeing them, I get so much joy in watching them flourish every day. And sometimes I tell myself, like, you know what, that's enough. That's enough of seeing them how happy they are, that when there is rain, they know where to come. When they're hungry, they know where to come. When they're hurt, they know where to come. And I'm happy to see them come when I call. That it makes me happy. But when I sit at night and think about it, I am happy, my heart is full, but I'm also very tired. Like, penat lah, taking care of other people,
Mhm.
but then nobody's caring for me. I know it
Yeah,
sounds
yeah,
trivial, but
true.
it's only human to be want to be cared for. But
Yeah.
uh, that's it lah. I find my happiness in looking at them. I spend a lot of time with them and things like that. My happiness stems from them. When they're healthy, I'm the most happiest person in the world. But they fall sick all the time.
Can you say that your animals are your source of strength?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
said, when I plummeted so low at one point during pre-U days that, it is sensitive to mention, but I've contemplated not continuing to live. I don't see the
Mm,
point of what am I living for? Like, what's the point of this life? Let's put an end to it.
mm,
And then came in these animals who needed me to get off my bed. They needed me to get out, get the plates, feed them. They needed me to
okay.
carry them to the clinic. Like, they gave me so much value. They gave me so much
Yeah.
things to do. Like, I had so much things to do that aku tak ada masa nak fikirkan suicide ke, nak terjerai bangunan ke. I
Mm-mm,
didn't have time to do that. And after a
mm-mm,
few
mm,
months, that thought just is not in me anymore. The thing that I think of
mm.
now is like, I can't die. If I die, who's going to feed my strays?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, my life has steered so far in a positive direction, I
Mm,
would say, because now I feel important that I need to take care of myself. I need to make sure that I am safe, because if I don't do it, nobody's going to care for my animals.
well said, well said. What is your most valuable lesson in life, and what are the words of wisdom you hold? Maybe you can share your advice on how to live in the present.
I think, like you said, when we started this session, that I'm very vocal on social media about the things that happen around me, be it
Mm,
government, be it about the animals, be it about children, be it about Israel, Palestine. The most important thing that I learned is that you need to speak out when you're given the chance. You don't have to be someone important. What
mm,
counts is, did you do something about it? I'm not a rich person. I'm not a politician. I'm not, someone important. So what I do is what I can do. I reach out to that few hundred people on my Instagram. You know,
mhm,
I'm
mhm.
100% sure out of 400 people who follow me, at least 50% of the people would have seen the story, and maybe at least
Yes,
20% would have had a change in heart. And that's all. That's all it takes.
yeah.
It doesn't take long to post that story. People are like, apa gunanya you post story tu, you bukan siapa-siapa pun. It will change at least one mind. And I believe in that.
Yeah,
This is a
yeah.
small effort that you must do. When we have elections and everything, I really love Malaysia, but I
Mhm.
don't love the government so much. I love Malaysia.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And that is an important thing for me to voice out, because whenever you talk against the government, people think that you're going against Malaysia. But no, it's two
No,
different
no,
things.
yeah,
I speak against the government because of my love for the country. You're
yeah,
steering
yeah.
something so precious to me in the wrong
Mm,
direction. And as a community member, I speak out. Whether or not it
mhm,
makes a change is a different set of issues. What did I do today to change this is first step. I voice out.
mm-mm.
That
And
is
speaking
most
out,
important thing.
yeah, and speaking out doesn't mean you're against it. You just have
Yes,
to speak out
exactly.
to change your
You
situation, to
must
make
tell
it
the
better.
world what
Yeah,
is right, what is wrong.
yeah,
I really hate
yeah,
the idea of
yeah,
neutral standing, to stand
yeah.
in the safe ground. I always feel that If I
Mm-mm.
pick a neutral side today, when tomorrow something happens to me, I cannot blame the community when they pick a neutral side.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And now that I have so many kids, I always feel that I need to do the right thing. I need to gather the correct kind of karma for my kids.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
I need to do good so that good energy will be surrounding my kids, and wherever they go, they'll be looked after. So it is a very selfish thing. I look after people so that my children are looked after one day. I'm not going to deny that it is a very altruistic or something. It's really like that. I speak out for the children around the world in hopes that one day, if my child is going to face the same situation, someone will be there to speak out for them.
Yes.
I speak out for my country so that one day when things go aside, people around the world will look at me and speak out for me. It's the world is not a place you live alone. It's you live
Mm-hmm.
with the people, with the community. So you need to
People.
do your work. Tak payah jadi orang famous, you don't have to put in that much money. Just use your voice to speak to that few people around you pun dah cukup. Tell them the right
Exactly.
stance. Just tell them that
Exactly.
this is right, this is wrong.
Exactly. Exactly. I like that ideology. It's to work with what you have within
Exactly.
the people around you.
It doesn't even
That's
take
it. Yeah.
much. It doesn't even
Yeah.
take much. You just to
Yeah.
put your
Yeah.
thoughts into words and then
Yeah.
put it on Instagram. It take like 30 seconds. But it matters. It really matters because
It
one
matters.
person could
Yeah.
probably change their mind reading your story.
Yes. Yes. Beautiful, Sky. Beautiful. This is a really well reflection of your moment in time. And before we end this conversation, what are your hopes and dreams?
Well, I definitely hope for better welfare for orphans, be it orphan children or orphan animals. To me, they're alike. Um, People don't like me saying this, but it is very similar. Both parties got no people to hold on to. Both parties are very not well treated. Both parties are the responsibility of the community, but the community does nothing for them. You know. So
Mm-mm.
my sole hope in this lifetime is I hope that I can bring out some change for the betterment of the orphans or the animals that I look after. That is my end goal now is that, it just pains me to see both community animals and community children are going towards doom. Nobody looking after them, you're being abused. It is just painful to see that the authorities take part majorly in abusing them, you know? So I just
Yeah.
hope that in this lifetime, if God wills, I'll be able to make at least a small change for the betterment of these children.
Oh, I'm glad to have this conversation with you. I really am. I am beyond inspired, amazed by the things that we talked about today. You are an inspiration to me. I'm so proud that I have you on my show to really address these issues and just go beyond who Skye Malarvili is. This
So
is your moment in time. It really is, and I'm.
it really
I,
is. Like, I don't know. I think sometimes I sit in the KTM station, like traveling to I feel like if people see me, they probably see like an empty bin sitting there. But these are the thoughts which go through
yeah.
my head, like there's
Mm-mm.
a web of thoughts which go through my head, and it's difficult because it's just spinning webs after webs without any solution. But these are the things that I think of on a daily basis. And a lot of my friends knew me as a very introverted person. I don't like to, I am an extroverted with only a certain group of friends. I'm that kind of a person. I'm a very quiet person. So you giving me an opportunity to speak about this in a very
Mm-mm.
safe space is also important because people finally know I'm not just that ton
Yeah,
kosong yang
yeah,
tengah
yeah.
duduk kat.
Yeah, you're definitely not tin kosong. You're not an empty bin. You are definitely not. I mean, and I think you should continue to drive this force ahead when you can, however you can.
Yeah,
It's okay to take a
definitely.
break. It's okay to take a break, I think. And sometimes, this work will never end.
That is
I
definitely
think
true.
I don't think it will ever end too. But I'm in fully support this cause. I really am. Um, thank you, Skye, for sharing your
Thank
stories with me.
you so much for giving me this opportunity. And And just listening, it's been a long time when someone is given a year to listen for something as important as this. So thank you so much for giving me a platform to speak out my mind and express my emotions safely. It is very important that you continue to do what you do as well, because I'm a nobody and you've given me a voice and a leverage to be somebody. And that's very important because there's so many nobodies out there who's working for a good cause.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you. Thank you. Support the He podcast via a one-time donation, a monthly subscription from as low as $1, a lifetime membership, and purchase He's exclusive collection of merchandise. And for all other business inquiries at buymeacoffee.com/Rafi. Thank you for listening to He. A new episode is available every Thursday, and don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We'd love to hear from you. Follow me on social media at Rafi Ridzwan and at He Podcast for all the updates and behind the scenes. Once again, thank you for listening to He with Rafi Ridzwan.